Hey everybody, this is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. All right, happy Wednesday. I've been a little bit under the weather, so I have a little strange voice today, and I haven't done any videos besides what I did, just whatever my last one was. But anyway, nice to be here. Nice to be back among friends here. My kids just started school today, so pretty happy that I have a quiet house today. So I've got things going. Man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. There's some really interesting technical things happening, and really, let's just jump right into it. So we haven't done this for a while. So some of the awesome people on the Pro channel said, it'd be interesting to know what the matcher thinks about our current price action, because we've been absolutely asleep, and the amount of volatility has dropped to record levels. I mean, we're absolutely an extremely low volatility period of time here, and we've seen this before, and so we'll look and see what that matcher shows, what the time frame was that we're sort of repeating, and we'll check it out. Okay, first of all, let's talk a little bit about our price action. So our price action most recently, we've been sideways for 2 months. 2 months. I did not expect us to take this long going sideways. Our last time that we went 2.5 months was kind of from this peak here. So we haven't gone 2 months or 2.5 months from our peak, but it's still getting there. I mean, we're definitely showing some pretty serious, solid month of pretty much straight down ever since the XRP news. So I think there have been some interesting things at play. Namik, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to everybody. All right. So what's happening is we're sort of consolidating, and I changed my the bottom of this used to be a megaphone, but it really wasn't tracing price very well down in this area. So the best fit line for our bottom line is support here, support, a bunch of support, and then a break. And now we're trading below, and most recently below. So we're definitely slipping down, but if you look at the angle, there is an angle of resistance that is happening from here through here. And this kind of steepness has completely disappeared. So we were dropping really fast, and instead of dropping this fast and continuing down, we've now completely gone sideways. And you can really see it here, where we have a low here that we respected yesterday at close, and today we kind of have to see what we're doing. So I was really excited when we got above our 20 and we had our 9 cross above. Everything was looking great. We should have turned around here or here, and then we got a big indecision candle that still kept us above the 20. And then yesterday's close was just like, man, guess we're still going. We're still consolidating. No strong signal of a reversal potentially today, but we'll wait till the market closes to make any judgments there. But either way, we have definitely come up a long ways, and we've only retreated a little bit, and it's been very quiet. The past probably 3 weeks have been almost silent. So let's take a look at the matcher. So we haven't looked at this for a while. It's been a while. So just to remind you how this matcher works, all I did was take 9 data points. I took yesterday, the day before, 3 days ago, 5 days ago, 8, 13, 21, 34, and 55. So these are just a Fibonacci sequence of time periods in the past. And this is our last 55 days of trading action. So this is what our trading action looks like. And all I'm doing is I'm going back in every single 55-day period in history of Bitcoin's history, and I'm looking to see where we had these 9 data points match up the closest. So I'm looking for the lowest variance, and the date that we are matching most closely to is July of 2020. So look at this. July of 2020, the time frame of this was after the halving. But look how quiet we've been. We had a high, we had a lower high and a lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we began going a little bit sideways. There was kind of a point right here where our price was kind of at its low. We definitely had a swing high, and it was certainly low. But now we got this candle up here that was above, and we started trending sort of sideways. The drop sort of stopped happening, and we started going sideways. Well, we're matching this the most closely. And if we matched this pattern perfectly, in about 4 more days, we would start an attempt to retrace back up to this period here. So that's a pretty interesting data point, and the variance is crazy low, 0.06. We were dreaming of days of this low of variance way back when, but this is another low volatility period. If I put it on a chart, you can kind of see what place in history we're talking about, and it's right here. This is the time frame that we were experiencing that matches what we're doing most closely right now. So you can see how we had to move up. We kind of had a little bit of a volatility, and then we had a spike. So this was our climax, and then we've kind of pulled back ever since, and then we started going sideways. And once we started going sideways and we reapproached some of these highs, we absolutely blew up across the top here, and this led us right into the next bull market. And I've been saying all along, I know everyone, historically we've always had our blow off tops after the halving, but if the market conditions are right, we will go no matter what. And the halving is going to have less and less impact in the future, so we have to be very careful not to get too excited there. All right, so it looks like people are having quite a conversation on on Facebook. Sorry. Okay, awesome. Crypto Gamer, nice to see you there. And Love 006. Hey Calvin, curious to see what you think about Dash. Yeah, we'll look at some of those in a minute. Okay, but so anyway, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't ignoring anybody. But yeah, look at that. Big move up, full sideways, waiting for the next move to the upside. That's exactly what we're doing right now. And there's a lot of similarities emotionally during that time period. Just this slow pullback. So the fact that we're pulling back and the bears are not getting it done, that's what makes me bullish. That's why I'm just being super patient. Okay, let's see if there are a couple of other examples. Let's see, where did my matcher go? There are a couple of other examples. So 2020. So July, this match isn't as close, but it's the same time period. Then there's one in 2022. And honestly, I feel like this match is still bullish, because if FTX had not happened, we were actually ready to rally. So I would still consider this a bullish outcome. And then of course 2018 is not a bullish outcome. This is just pointing to the fact that we're really, this was one of the least volatile periods of time, but it was a totally different flavor. We had just come down a long ways, and we hadn't fully, found our bottom yet. So anyway, these are kind of the time frames that we're looking at, but July 20th is the closest. Well, I did something a little bit different, because I wanted to see if, instead of doing the last 55 days, now that Bitcoin's old enough, I figured it might be interesting to see what the data would look like if I took the last 55 weeks. Because if Bitcoin generally has a 4-year cycle and whatever, there should be a similarity in the past. I've had a lot of people talk about this. So let's go to historically the weekly time frame. So if I took the last 55 weeks, it would sort of be this period of time where we were just finding our bottom and then we're pulling up. And here's our bottom, but there's not a lot of similarity here. And I know that a lot of people have pointed to the 2015 or 16 time frame that we might be matching that. But I figured I would let the data do all the talking. So taking the last 55 weeks, this is the result. So let me just pull it up a little bit before I reveal what the match was. So here's our last 55 weeks exactly, and our closest match was actually in 2016, March of 2016. And as you'll notice, all of the closest matches were in 2016. The variance is really high, but that's because weekly charts are just, there's way more stuff that's happening in 55 weeks. But look at this. This was 0.63 variance is actually not too bad. And this is the result. Take a look at this chart. This was the bottom of the 2015 bear market. This was the kind of pull up back to kind of attempting a little bit of a breakout. And then there was this quiet period where we went completely sideways. The market just completely fell asleep, and it went on and on and on. And if we're here, that would kind of say that there's about a month and a half left. Like if we matched 2016 perfectly, before we had a breakout and before we really moved, it would still be another month and a half. I don't think it'll take that long, but there's an interesting similarity here. So anyway, this is the closest match. This one's the next closest. So this is actually saying, hey, we've consolidated long enough. We're breaking out now. This one is another experience in March of 2016, April. The only year that's different is 2012, and volatility was absolutely very, very quiet. This is back when we were trading at $5 before we had the full, explosive breakout. So you can tell that volatility's, we're getting a little further away, but we're just hitting 2016 over and over and over and over. If I take the average of all of these scenarios, you can just see that we're on the verge of breaking out. That's pretty much the story that the weekly chart is telling us, based on our historical movements in Bitcoin. So I kind of wanted to dig in a little bit further. You have seen this chart. I've put this up here. There was this line that's 2.5 years old. We have a beautiful cup and handle right here. But what's kind of odd is that we've got a cup and a handle, and we've got another handle, a cup and a handle and a handle. And so we're kind of doing something a little bit strange over here. But if I go back to 2015, you'll notice. So let me just put it in. I'm gonna leave this in front of us. And then down here, let me get rid of some of this noise here. Okay. So now let's go back and compare what we were just looking at with this line here, this cup and handle. And let's go look at 2015 and just see if there's any more information here. So according to the matcher, our closest match was, wrong one, hang on. Our closest one was March 28th. So let's go to March 28th of 2016. That's this candle right here. So this candle right here is potentially, so let me move this over. So this, our week that this is the one that closed. So this is the one that we're matching. Matches up perfectly with this candle here. So let me get these kind of lined up so we can see what's happening. So this is what I'm looking at. there is a line right here. I would have said that the line starts here. So this is how I would analyze this chart if I was doing it live. I would have said, okay, our resistance, well, we had support here. We broke below. We hit resistance here a couple of times. And now we've had a huge kind of pullback. This looks like a cup. And then I would have said, all right, we passed through it and we hit resistance in many places. There's 3 spots of resistance. So this line is probably not quite in the right spot. So we would move it up. Oh, hang on. Okay. So we would move it up to the top of the candle right here. And this is where our new resistance is showing its face. And then we had a little bit of kind of a breakthrough, and it got really fuzzy up here, but we did eventually break out and get off of this. Well, look at the look at the pattern that we've created. This is a giant cup and handle and whatever this is. So, I mean, how interesting is that? So what we've got is a very, very close match to, we kind of created almost an ascending triangle at the end of our cup and handle. So big cup, cup and handle, this would have been the actual handle. So if you take the time frame from here and just say, okay, this handle lines up perfectly with the end of this handle here. These 2 candles look pretty close. So from this candle to breakout, it was 14 weeks. That's some serious time. 3.5 months before our finalized cup and handle actually broke through. So if we take the same scenario and we go out 14 weeks, that is September 25th. So if we match this perfectly, September 25th will be the day or the week that Bitcoin finally takes off. It's really hard to be patient as a trader. But when you zoom out and you kind of look at the macro and look at the shape of this, it's really bullish, but it just hasn't broken yet. So we can get impatient and start making mistakes and putting in, we're bored, so we head over to the altcoin market and start messing around or whatever. It's just going to be, it'll just be mistake after mistake if we do stuff like that. But if we're patient and let this market play itself out, it'll be awesome. So cup and handle that kind of morphed into an ascending triangle. And what are we doing right now? We've got a cup and handle, and as long as we can put in a higher low than this, which I really think is quite possible. For how difficult the difficulty in bears pulling our price down, it's sort of the same thing where I just don't think they would overcome this. So we do kind of have a double top here. So at the top of our cup and handle, we do have a flat resistance, but our support is increasing. So it is kind of morphing into an ascending triangle, just like we did back in 2016. And then, it doesn't take, you'd have to be blind to not see the gains that are just right around the corner. I mean, if we matched this exactly, we'd be a little bit lazy for about 2 more weeks. 3 weeks from now, potentially up 10%. Flat 5 weeks from now. So we went up 10% and kind of held that gain. But then we started moving. 8 weeks we're out, up 26, 56, back 36, a little bit of volatility. And then we start running 73 and 300, 200%. And the average of all of the weeks is here. And it's about a 4% over the next week. 4%. Yeah, so, well, let me put the average in. So this is what the average looks like. So 4%, it's really hard to read because of this Yeah, it's not very helpful. But I can put it down a little bit. If we did 4% this week, so that's kind of what it's saying. Where would 4% put us if we ended this week? It would put us really close to the line. I mean, it really could just happen at any time. It really could. But 4% this week, an average of 10% by next week, and then 15, 25, 37, and 50. So it's just like we could be breaking out at any time. Let me just see what those would look like. So 4% would put us on the line. 10% puts us at about 32.3. This is definitely breakout zone. And then if we were up to 14 in the next week, like we could really be getting out there. Yeah. Anyway, we're getting close. So there's a lot of, if we're looking historically, we're doing a very similar thing to 2015 and 16. And the slow rise of 2015 and 16 created such a beautiful, so much structure, so much momentum. It just slowly got us up into a really good spot. And yeah, I mean, it was many multiples. I guess we can go back and see what, yeah, from breakout zone. So once we finally broke out, it went up about 70%, 67%. That would be that'd be a little hard for the price that we're doing now. But even if we took a fraction of this and just kind of tapered it down, any of these moves, it would be pretty phenomenal. So anyway, that is my that's kind of my thoughts and my kind of where my head is at for this thing. We're just waiting. Like there's no reason to go short. It's just, there's nothing broken here. It's just a matter of being patient. Okay, let's go look at some of this other stuff. Love wants to take a look at Dash, so let's do that. Oh, let's just take a quick look at Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum just hasn't been looking super great lately, but my opinion is that when Bitcoin goes, it'll bring Ethereum with it. Ethereum's just not an independent market. And so really the structure of Bitcoin is really what we're watching. If Bitcoin completely fell apart, Ethereum would absolutely fall apart. If Bitcoin launches, Ethereum will launch as well. So it's not a very pretty chart. This is definitely, it feels like it's languishing. We lost the 20 on the weekly, and it's just kind of been pretty slow, but it'll get there. We just have to get Bitcoin to behave. All right, let's look at Dash. I think I've got Dash in here somewhere. I think I'm trading Dash. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, Dash is not looking very pretty. So what I'm speculating is a little while ago we had this huge drop. It was almost without any warning. June 10th. Just seemed like the whole market fell apart. And what it did is it established kind of a selling climax. And we've been, even though we've kind of been trending down, especially on Dash, but this is pretty typical of most of the altcoins. We never got to this low ever since, even though we've had some pretty strong moves. This move that we had yesterday, where the whole market really sold off, just really with no warning, really without notice, because there was no fundamental reason for it to drop. Everything was slowly moving, and then the whole market just dropped all at once. And it was, Bitcoin only pulled back a little bit. So there had to have been a pretty large whale that was just liquidating everything or something. Just kind of an unusual thing to have happen across the board. But I was not very disappointed because these selling climaxes, they create bottoms. This one did a wonderful job. It established a bottom that is now 2.5 months old that has not been breached yet. And so just depends on if we can gain, the support that we need. We're really waiting to see if our next swing high or our next low ends up being, of course, higher than this. If we're getting a double bottom today, that would not help because we're kind of creating a descending triangle. But yeah, I don't know. This one's definitely not ready. We'd want to be waiting. We would be wanting to wait till we exit the red zone or something on this coin before we're super comfortable. But yeah, it's kind of the way this is looking. If I go to the weekly, yeah, it's just not pretty. Yeah. I wish there was better news, but you know, I just have to read the chart for what it is. The best indicator for when an alt season will happen is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. And we attempted to break the red zone several times. Here, 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 most recently here. We're in a yellow zone, so that means we've consolidated for a long time. But we really need to get above this 50 and stay there as support before we're going to have an alt season. We've threatened to do it a couple of times, but it just hasn't happened. If we can do that, then almost every coin will be bullish because the whole system will go together. But you know, if some whale needs to flush out, you know, before we get there, that's okay too. All right, let's see. Mohammed, my friend, you're gonna get banned. I'm not sure what you're doing. I'm not sure what you're talking about, what's fake. But Ras Palmer says, appreciate the new no BS analysis, Calvin. Thank you. Yeah, this is pretty good. Well, I've been kind of gone, so I don't think there are too many people on today, but that's a pretty good overview of what Bitcoin is doing. I just don't see, there's just no reason to sell yet. I don't see weakness here. I see bears losing momentum. I see a lot of patience required, but the breakout should happen to the upside, not to the downside. Okay, all right, I will wrap it up there. I hope you guys have an awesome day. I'll try to be a little bit more active now that the kids are back in school, but it'll still just be a few times per week, I believe. So it's kind of where my schedule's at. All right, you guys, thanks for being here. We will catch you on the next one. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.